Devin Haney gets prepared to break his silence with Hall of Famer, former fighter, motivational speaker, Andre S.O.G. Ward. That's what I want to talk about in this video. So Andre Ward, he's been working with All the Smoke. He is the creative director, I believe. So he's doing interviews with like Eddie Hearn. I've already talked about some of what was talked about with the Eddie Hearn thing. He talked about the Ryan Garcia situation. But then he posted this, and he's in the lab with Devin Haney. You guys see, I'm enlarging it for you. Devin Haney is looking like his next interview. And they're shaking hands. You know, he got his coffee, got his water. They're on location. Going to be interesting because I think Devin Haney's been kind of like almost in remission, if you will, in terms of doing interviews. Like, yeah, he popped out for a Crawford Madrimov fight card in LA, but as he was walking out, people were booing him. So I don't believe he did any interviews really. I didn't really see anybody that night from the Crawford Madrimov publish any like interviews with him longer than a minute or anything like that. If you guys seen it, I mean, you can send it my way, but I didn't seen it. So I think he's just been kind of chilling since the Ryan Garcia fight. The other thing to me that stands out is Andre Ward is a guy who was campaigning at super middleweight most of his career and then went up to 175. Andre Ward maintains his physique even being retired and being a retired fighter. So the thing for me is I don't know what Andre Ward weighs right now because he's retired. Why would I know? You know, but I highly doubt that it's the same exact weight that he campaigned, because most fighters, they have to make a cut and descend down to whatever their weight class is. So again, he's been retired for a couple of years. Don't know his weight because there's no way for us to know unless you talk to him and he told you. But I'm pretty sure it's not 175. It's probably greater, you know, because he had to cut down to get to his weight class. So with that being said, look at Devin Haney next to Andre Ward, who is a career super middleweight, gold medal at light heavyweight, beat Kovalev light heavyweight. And Devin Haney looked big to me. He looked big. Like, if I'm bugging, let me know in the comment section. But it doesn't look like this new generation is crazy. Because it does, to me, like, and there's multiple things. I can't speak for anyone else, but what I do, the eye test, the ego weight watchers, I look at multiple things, like pause, of course, but I look at multiple things. Head size, you know, the hands, the shoulders. Some people have, like when the shoulders are broad, just the overall frame. And then again, if I'm tripping, you guys let me know. But Devin doesn't look small. So I'm really, seeing this picture, it raised an eyebrow from me and a concern, because what is that? How does Devin look so big and full next to a guy who's retired? And I do believe he's over 175 in terms of Andre Ward. So how much is Devin? It low-key looks like Devin's head is bigger than Andre Ward's head. So he got some like Barry Bonds head stuff going on, right? He just looked kind of big. I don't know if it's the angle. I was trying to look at the alternate angles and pictures, but Devin just looked kind of big. He just looked big. And here's the thing. And I should have added this, but I'll add it now. I told you what Andre Ward campaigned at. That was when he was an active fighter, 68, 75 mark, right? Devin Haney is supposed to be a guy who is just moved up from lightweight, and he's campaigning at 140. He made weight. Oh, wow. Ryan's in the comment section is crazy. I just seen that out the corner of my eye. Ryan is a fool, dog. That is crazy. I'm so sorry. You know, my videos is freestyle. I don't make mistakes. I'm one take. I be one taking my like Hove. This is not scripted. I didn't notice. I just seen Ryan Garcia right there in the comment section. He just put this an hour ago. That is hilarious. Back to what I was saying. Make sure you guys subscribe. Best in the business. If you want your boxing fix, I'm that guy. So Devin Haney, he was definitely struggling in the Kambosos 2 fight at lightweight. The Lomachenko fight was his last fight at lightweight. He even pushed Lomachenko, blah, blah, blah. And he moved up and gave his body a break, fought Regis Prograis, right? And that was at 140. And then he made weight. Ryan didn't, but Devin Haney did. And that was at 140. So it wasn't 140 for Ryan, but it was 140 for Devin Haney, who was a consummate professional. So here, this is maybe a better angle. Devin don't look that small. And some people are going to be like, oh, it's his hoodie. His hoodie's big. But I'm not just going off of the oversized hoodie maybe. I'm talking about his face, the fullness in his face. I've seen Devin Haney in person. I've seen him at weigh-ins. I've seen other photos. He just looked kind of big. He looked kind of big. That's all I'm saying. If you think I'm doing too much and Devin don't look that big to you, then let me know that in the comment section. But to me, he looks rather big, which it begs the question is Eddie Hearn did a recent interview and he's suggesting that Devin could possibly come back for December to fight Liam Paro for the IBF. There's only one real problem with that. That's at 140 pounds. 140 pounds. And from what I'm seeing, Devin ain't at no 140 right now. Just from the Ego Weight Watchers eye test, he looks bigger than 140, which, of course, guys don't typically in this new generation. They're not walking around close to their walk-around weight. But I'm saying he looks substantially big. He looks substantially big. Even that video, he was at the carnival, he looked kind of big, right? So I'm curious how this is going to work. Now, I'll be tapped into this Andre Ward. Hopefully he's asking some really good questions. He asked some good questions for Eddie Hearn. And I want to hear what Devin Haney has to say, because this is really kind of his first interview where he's breaking his silence. But there are some questions that I have, like what is Devin Haney's weight? And I think weight is going to be a problem. Eddie Hearn, credit to Devin Haney, Eddie Hearn never said, or Eddie Hearn is the one that said the Liam Paro stuff. Devin Haney didn't say that. But I think Eddie might be off if he thinks Devin's coming back at 140 with the IBF doing the same day rehydration clause in December. Furthermore, I don't even think that would be good based on the fact of that last fight was a beating. A lot of people, they keep talking about Ryan and Osterine and things like that. You could talk about that till your face is blue, but mistakes were made. And for me, I think Ryan, if he cheated, he's being suspended for it. But I still think there was some negligent things defensively that Devin Haney did regardless, because he's not the first person. Steve Nelson, who is Crawford's homie, just had a fight with a guy on Crawford Madrimov undercard, and he popped for EPO, which is more hardcore than the SARM Osterine, right? And Steve Nelson stopped the guy. So I know what I'm saying is facts. And this is just one example out of many where a person got cheated, just like Devin Haney. Okay, Ryan was on a banned substance. That's why he has to face punishment, right? But there's been people who've been on harder things and still got knocked out. So you guys can try to like glaze over that fact, but it is what it is. There were certain deficiencies in the game planning. Devin's recuperative skills, I mean, I guess you could say they were somewhat there because he didn't get fully knocked out, but I also feel like that's partly due in part to the referee at that fight. I think it was Harvey Dock who was allowing more time, and really the towel should have been thrown in. So I can't brag too much about that. And like me, if you guys know, I'm not big on, a lot of people keep talking about heart. The heart is like such a weird, like, yes, you're going to give a person credit for picking themselves back up and showing heart. Yes, I get that. But I feel like it's almost over glorified that someone had heart, but they were getting slaughtered, you know? And it's funny because people, they're so wishy-washy in this sport. Sergey Derevyanchenko versus Billy, he was showing a ton of heart and people were saying stop the fight, but then they screaming stop the fight for Derevyanchenko and he never got knocked down. But then when it's Devin Haney and he was getting clearly hurt, clearly rocked and knocked down, they said it was 3 times, but that's cap. He was getting knocked down a gang of times. And then people are saying, oh yeah, let him show heart. He made it to the end. So it's like people aren't even consistent with their own rules. How does the same viewer watch Sergey Derevyanchenko versus Billy, and Derevyanchenko was with one arm? He was looking cool in the second half of the fight in spots, right? With the one arm. He was getting some stuff done. Never got knocked down. People are like, oh, this is sad to watch. But then you watch Devin Haney get battered from pillar to post versus Ryan Garcia and dropped, and it looked concussed. His jaw's out here, and people are saying, oh, he showed heart. The fight should have been allowed to keep going. Meanwhile, I'm the only person with a voice that's saying that fight should have been stopped, and his dad should have threw in the towel, or the ref should have stopped it, etc. So I find that weird. We'll see what Devin Haney has to say in this brand new interview, but I think based on how the last fight looked, he should probably sit out for the rest of 2024 and come back sometime 2025. Of course, clearly it's his career. He could do whatever he wants. I'm just giving you my 2 cents because he looks big too. So on top of like the trauma from the Ryan Garcia fight and just how it played out, you got some weight to get off you, especially if you want to fight at 140. And then if you move up to welterweight, that's a whole different conversation because first of all, who do you even fight at welterweight? If Jaron Ennis is possibly in talks to fight Brian Norman, and then like just being in a new division, that's super risky. You would want to take it slow and take it easy coming off of that Ryan Garcia performance. And that's one of my biggest gripes with this new generation is like, it seems like almost like a lack of discipline, not necessarily in camp, but just in career, where these guys are staying in divisions for 1 or 2 fights and then they're done for. But back in the day when I like was watching boxing, you're liable to have like a Zab Judah and he stay at 140 for like his whole career. You know what I mean? And you had these guys who were staying, like Felix Tito Trinidad, he stays at welterweight for a while. You know what I mean? Now it's like these guys barely get to a weight class and then got to weigh in naked and they got to have a towel in front of them and they're off season. They look huge. It's just different times, I guess. Let me know what you guys think. What do you want to see next from Devin? Do you think he should come back in 2024 or should he do like Ego is saying, wait till 2025? Ego Weight Watchers. Yeah, it is.